I'm not sure where to jump off on this one. I think it comes back down to everybody has to be responsible for themselves. Like you've heard me say before, like it's a sad story, right? And people can get angry at that, but it's the opposite. It's like you see how spectacular they are, but they have forgotten or they're lying to themselves. And so they become a sad story. They have to love themselves. They have to pick themselves back up. You can tell them all day long, but it's not going to work. It was more than that. Oh God, it was showing like, it was, you know what it was kind of showing? Like the idea of like running with the wrong crowd. You know how they keep showing like high school. So like, you remember in high school, it was like you might have had like your best friend or your group or whatever. But then let's just use your best friend. And then all of a sudden they start adding new friends into their friend mix. And you don't get along with them or you don't agree with whatever. It just is, you're like, it's a little bit of an agitation, but you're like, whatever. I have other friends too. It's fine. But then you notice your friend starts to change. And it's slow at first. But you notice things here and there. And it's kind of like at some point you have to just love yourself, because it's not that you don't mesh anymore. You very much love your friend. But because they're spending more and more and more time with people who, in your opinion, in your eyes, they don't value your friend. They don't love your friend. They're not looking out for your friend. They're changing your friend, but not for the better, not for the good. And you can't tell your friend that, right? You can, and you can say it, but usually they're like, oh, you're just jealous or you're this or that. It's like, okay. It's like, I'm not sure how they want me to verbalize all this. It's like, because it's just normal. This is just reality of all of us as humans growing, evolving, changing, morphing over time. And you just have to keep going. But they're saying no, they want me to make a point about this. I guess it's like, because this happens all throughout our lives. And our friends come and go throughout our lives. And I'm sure you have friends that you've lost touch with, but you'll always love them. And you might talk to them now once every 10 years, once every whatever, but you're still there for them. But you also recognize your day-to-day life is no longer in sync. There's still something more they want me to get out right around here, and I can't seem to figure out exactly what. They keep showing the same thing. I think they're just saying, they keep showing how, it's like you become who you surround yourself by. And that is the truth. It really is. As much as you don't want it to be that way. I think that's what they're showing. It's like, it's this idea of, it's easier to like look at it at like a high school level, but this is happening at all stages of our lives where, because you can still fall into the wrong crowd as adults, and I think they're trying to get me to say like established. Yeah. By then, it's like we're usually more established in our lives and in our routines. So we have stronger bonds with people, and it can become more challenging to have those disruptors when it is like you can see your friends going down a wrong path, but they're consciously choosing it, so it's like, well, who am I to judge or decide? And it's just not the right path for you. And so you have to choose you, in my opinion. Yeah, there's something right there they're showing me. Yeah, or you get karma. And believe me, that's happened to me. Boy, have I gotten smacked many, many, many times. For not just staying, it's like you get swept up in it. Sorry, as soon as I said that, they flashed me. They were showing me a vision earlier, which I don't think has anything to do with this, but of they kept morphing it. But it started off with there was a girl. I don't know if it's a girl or a young woman, I probably in her 20s, that appeared, and how others would normally see her. She had on like a sailor suit, that old like a white outfit with the blue and red trim, like a sailor. But she looked demonic to me, is what I'm saying. But if you saw the image, but you know how I see things. So I mean, she looked like an evil child. And then it did morph onto a boat. And there was all these people on the boat. And it just kept showing different scenes of people on a boat. I don't even know if it was the same boat because it just kept changing. But there was water all around. And I don't know why they're bringing that up now, because it was also, I haven't gotten to analyzing it yet or anything. I don't know if it was just a lot of people deep in their emotions or sinking in a boat. I'm not sure. It was a lot. Oh, maybe they are tying that together now. They're showing that, yeah, a lot of people can sink in a boat. You have to decide if you want to be on that boat or not. You have to make the right choice for you. Otherwise, before you know it, because it did seem like they were all partying on a boat or having fun on a boat. You can easily slip and slide, right? Like you think you're having a good time. You think everything's fine. Yeah. And now they're jumping me to all the stuff you hear in the news. I mean, I think that is what happened, I'm sure, to a lot of people involved in all of that. All of that just screams all the stuff we talk about all the time. It screams people who are scared and looking outside themselves, right? They're looking to get, or they believe they have to, right? They don't believe in themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't stay aligned with themselves, and they go slipping and sliding, looking to get acceptance, validation, money, contracts, deals, obligated, all types of things. And man, if we all don't have enough mental fuckery going on, boy, does that sure do some serious damage. When you get in those types of dynamics, and even in all types of dynamics we're in on day to day, it can really mess with your mind. You have to build that resilience, and you have to get an understanding around a lot of things. And I think the hardest thing for me is because they show me so much, it's hard for me to communicate. It's hard for me to communicate with others, the things that I see, because it's like, they showed this. Is that the case with you? And some of the stuff they show me, even if it was the case, people wouldn't admit it. They'd be insane to admit it, right? So it's like, it's challenging. I just heard somebody say something the other day about, oh God, I don't, but basically it was confirming how I'm always a hermit. Something about, when people do see a lot of things and have a different perception and I forget what they use, but basically that's, they were describing me. It's just, it's not that it is easier, but it's also healthier for me to have will be healthy for me to have some close friends. And that's what I've always had, is usually just a few handful of close friends, because it's too challenging to be around a lot of people, especially with all the stuff I pick up. And it's really important who my close friends are, and that they're loving themselves and aligned with themselves and keeping themselves clean and clear and not attached to a bunch of people who don't love themselves and are soaking up all types of bullshit and from all over the place, because all of that stuff affects me. So, that was the other thing. Sorry, I know we're jumping all over the place. They keep showing me a bunch of different stuff. Shit, show me that again. Right, okay, thank you. They had shown me quite a few people who I knew and loved. And I did see them as like earth angels, just meaning they're good people, like they're coming from their heart. That's all I mean by that. And so I had seen them that way, and that was my interaction with them. And I thought of them as angels, sweethearts, good people. And I saw people taking advantage of them and starting to latch on to them. And they, like me, tend to, want to help, want to save, want to do what they can. But it becomes a weight, an anchor, a way to hold you down, tie you down, hold you back and dampen you and really darken you, because they're like leeches and they suck onto you. And then next thing you know, you're going down with the ship, because it ends up infecting them. So once good-hearted, coming from their heart, good tensions, doing it, with the best, next thing you know, it's seeped into them, and they start to become manipulative, and they start to do things they shouldn't do, and they start to, because you become infected by those around you. They literally have had me staring at this fan the entire time, which is really funny, because they're using it like that right now, where because of the way the light is hitting it, they woke me up. It's the middle of the night. So it's like just I don't know if it's the moonlight's streaming in or what light's coming in, but the centerpiece has now turned dark, and only 2 of the 5 blades are light. The other 3 have turned dark as well. And that's what happens. You start to get infected. You have the 5 people surrounding the one in the center, and 2 are light, 3 are dark. Well, 3's greater than 2, and the center is now dark. And it's that fine line. It can go in a second. It's just, I think, the reminder, it's so important who you surround yourself with. And don't be the hero, don't be the martyr. Really love and honor yourself, and just stand in your truth. And if people want to start going down paths that are not honoring them, that isn't loving them, that's having them seek outside themselves, and they're not asking for your help, then you got to let them go. And even if they ask for your help, you have to ask yourself if you're willing to help, if you're capable of helping, if you're in a position to help. Like sometimes you have to say no, even if you want to say yes, because you're not strong enough or capable or able or many things. It's like, it's back to, well, you help and you go down. Well, now you're both down. What good is that? Or worse, you help them out and lift them up, but then you're stuck down there and they're like, see ya, sucker. Right? You're like, well, fuck. Well, you better learn that lesson. It sucks, but it sucks to say that, but that's true. I mean, I've had to learn many of these lessons the hard way, because that's usually the case for a lot of us. We don't believe it until it happens to us. And then we're like, fuck, Isn't there a saying like, blessed are those who believe without seeing, or something like that, right? Some people heed the warning. Some people are smart enough to hear it and be like, gotcha, not doing that, right? And they're wise enough to not have to fall in all the ditches. And then there's others of us. We got to fall in every fucking ditch. And we're like, all right, all right. Oh, good God. It's like, are you tired enough? Have you crawled out of enough ditches yet? Are you done falling into the fucking ditches? That is the question. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. So you can see how this was all over the place. I'm not sure what the end is. I think it is just choosing oneself, staying aligned with oneself, and being careful who you surround yourself with. You know, don't be the hero, don't be the martyr, don't be the savior, right? Like, nobody needs you to do that, right? Got to choose and decide how you want your life to look and feel. And if you're surrounded, it's like, here's an easy example. You're clean, you're healthy, you have no addictions, and you decide you're going to start hanging out with a bunch of drug addicts. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? You're going to all of a sudden become a drug addict. They'll convince you to try it. Next thing you know, you're all strung out. And you go, how did I get here? What do you mean? What do you mean? You made those choices. That's why we have to wake the fuck up. That person didn't realize, they had to get honest with themselves. They had to admit to themselves, oh my God, I wanted to belong. They were kind, they accepted me, they loved me, they made me feel like I belonged. Right? Well, you need to choose. Do you want to belong to that group? Like you're the one choosing, you're the one in charge. Don't go seeking outside yourself. Don't go chasing. That's what that is. So then you go chasing, seeking outside yourself. The first place you feel like you belong, and you're like, holy shit. And so again, how'd I get here? Well, how'd you get here? Because you weren't loving yourself. You weren't honoring yourself. You weren't aligned with yourself. You didn't think you were good enough or worthy of what you wanted. You just wanted to belong outside yourself. Don't belong outside yourself. Belong inside yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Align with what is correct and true for you. And yes, it's going to change. Okay, maybe that's also part of this message. It's going to change. I think that's what happens is, so you stay aligned, you wait for what's worthy of you. That doesn't mean you have to stop being aligned. You have to remain aligned always, because you are only in charge of you. So say you find that stable group that is the right group for you, that they're humans too. They're changing and evolving all the time too. They're making their choices all the time too. Sometimes not even bad choices. A lot of times not even bad choices, but they're no longer aligned with you. And so if you cling on to them or search outside of them, it's doing two things. One, you're lying to yourself that you're not good enough, worthy, strong enough, capable of moving along. And two, you're holding them down or back, or falling into their new pathway that isn't right for you, right? So there's like all these silly things we do, but you have to be honest with you, right? That's what we talk about. Like, there's no victims here. So when you fall into, let's say, the wrong crowd again, the drug addict crowd, and you're going, how did I get here? What do you mean? Get real. Get honest with yourself. People, no, I fell into it. They all convinced me. Yes, why did you fall into it? Why couldn't have you said no to begin with? Why did you enter to begin with? Why did you even look there to begin with? What were you seeking? What were you choosing? When did you stop loving yourself? When did you start lying to yourself? Right? Like, these are all the things that we have to accept. We have to swallow. We have to take a look at. We have to be real with ourselves and take ownership of that. And start doing better, and recognize you're going to keep slipping for a while too, And always, you have to do that work always. You have to realign with yourself always, because you're always changing too. So what you desire is always changing. So you don't want to hold yourself stiff or rigid, and then you get stuck. So it's always this ebb and flow, right? You have to be riding the wave, not getting toppled by it. And it's just, I feel like I could go on and on because I'm starting to go into a flow here, but I think I got out the main message they wanted me to.
Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.